Hi, I'm Mary Bees. I'm doing the teaching activities for listening and speaking. So for listening, I focused on bottom-up processing and top-down processing. Bottom-up processing is the process of decoding sounds that a person hears in a linear way. So you hear chunks that make up the whole thing. So I was on the bus and I sat by a guy. You would hear chunks, I was on the bus, I sat by a guy, but you process it all together in a linear way. Top-down processing, however, is the reconstruction of what you're hearing. So the listener constructs the original message or the meaning of the speaker using incoming sounds as clues. Both are very necessary. And also some activities that you could do, some learning strategies, teaching strategies, classroom discussions help with listening a lot, as well as roundtables. And roundtables are you have a piece of paper and you have everybody in a group around a round table or in a circle. You have a piece of paper and it has a word on it that's underlined, or it has a word on it that isn't underlined, but it has a word on it that the student will then replace with something else. So they're listening and each student says a response and then they have to write it down and pass along the paper. So they're listening to what everybody else has said to make meaning together. Speaking, however, students need to talk as interaction, and role-playing is a really great way of doing this. Role-playing conversations is a really excellent way, highly interactive, and so if they just role-played anything, any scenario that the teacher gives them, that's good to practice their speaking skills. Also some strategies, some learning strategies, teaching strategies for speaking would be concentric circles, and that is where the students are divided in half, and then one student is on the inside, they form a circle, one student is on the inside facing out, and one student is on the outside facing in. So here's a student, and they're facing each other. One student can ask a question, and then the following student can answer, or one student can give a math problem, the next can respond, or they could just have a conversation back and forth this way. That's really beneficial. Also, the game What Am I? It's a strategy, but it's also a game. It's where they will have, it's basically like headbands, if you've ever played that. They have a card on their head, or they hold it up, and the card says a word. The person holding the card doesn't know what their card says, so they have to ask questions to a partner to figure out what their card says and what they are. So those are some teaching activities for listening and speaking.